Hi, this is Module 1, Basic Communication Principles. This is a module for communication and management communication students in 4. So that basically means all business studies students in South Africa. Welcome. I hope you enjoy this. So today's lesson is all about nonverbal communication. And you may see a big word there, visual semiology. But don't worry, it's not that difficult. I will make it easy. Just a warning that this lesson on visual semiology is a bit long, so I've split it into two. There will be two videos, but don't worry, short, bite-sized pieces of information that's easy for you to understand. So let's get into it. Remember in the previous module, previous lesson, we said that verbal communication is when you use words. Now, we also communicate without using any words, and we call it nonverbal communication. And the study of nonverbal communication is known as semiology. Semiology. Okay, so there's your first big word for today. Don't be scared of it. It just means the study of nonverbal communication. And semiology can be divided into three sections. What we see, which is known as visual semiology, visual semiology. What we hear, which is acoustic semiology. And what we touch, tachysic semiology. So see, hear, and touch, those three senses are used together with words to get the message across effectively. So let's jump into visual semiology, what we see. So visual semiology depends on the receiver's sight, seeing. It means that the receiver has to see the sender in order to understand the message. If the receiver does not see the sender, they won't understand the message being sent. So let's look at this. The first type of visual semiology is what we call kinesics. It's your second big word. It sounds difficult, but it's really not. It just refers to body movements, gestures, and facial expressions. Now, I would have taken pictures and selfies and, to demonstrate these things, but there's a whole big internet where I could download supporting pictures. So I've got these for you. That man, Steve Harvey, look at his face. By looking at his face, you know exactly what's going on in his mind. He's sending you a message that he is surprised, and it shows on his face. So the same way, someone pulls up their shoulders, they show that they don't know. Somebody face palms, and it shows that they are exasperated. I don't exactly know what face palm means, but we use it a lot. That poor little figure over there. Shame. Look at how sad he is. You can see the whole way that the body is positioned. That never mind the tears. The tears are cute. Never mind the tears. You can see by the way that his body is positioned that he is sad. Body language, kinesics, right? And then look at that face. Look at that face. Somebody looks at you like that, you run away. That's anger, and you can see it in the face. That person doesn't have to say a word, but they are sending you a very, very clear message. Moving on, we get proxemics. Now, let me tell you a story about my nephew and his sister, my niece. I love them to bits, but they, like any brother or sister, they fight a lot. So she would be in the kitchen, busy making a cup of tea, and her brother would walk in, and he would go stand right next to her, like touching her next to, that. And I mean, who does that? So you feel uncomfortable when somebody stands that close to you. It is Proxemics is when we use the space around our bodies to communicate. If you want to comfort someone, you want to make somebody feel better, somebody that you are close to, okay, you move right up to them and sometimes even touch them. We'll get to touching later, but you know that closeness. My little nephew, not the one who stands close to his sister, the smaller one, he loves being in my space. He shows his love by being in my personal space. Now, he is the one person that I allow there. You know, I'm not a touchy feely type of person. So you want to make me feel uncomfortable, you move into my space. But this is what I do to students. When I'm in a physical classroom and I have to explain this concept to them, I go stand like that picture next to a student. And my question is always, so how do you feel? And without fail, the answer will be, I'm very uncomfortable, ma'am. And that's what we do. If you want to make someone feel uncomfortable, if you want to threaten someone, you move right up in their space. But also, if you are close to someone, if you know someone really well and you move up into their space, it is a comfort, you know. So you can use the space around your body to communicate, to send a message to someone. And then, so now what gets me when I go to the shops and I stand in the queue, you know, and it's like the auntie behind you wants to whisper secret information in your ear, and that you've been in a mall or in a shop on Black Friday in this country, people go crazy. They push you out of the way. That anyway. So usually I step out of the queue. And in this time of COVID-19, where we have to keep our social distance, I don't get why people don't keep their social distance. Makes you feel so uncomfortable when somebody that you don't know from a bar of soap breathes in you. And that's a good tactic, actually, to get people to leave the queue and have you move up faster, you know. But anyway, let me not teach you bad manners. Keep your distance, please. Social distancing is good. Proxemics has 4 zones. There are 4 zones around a person's body. So the first zone is your intimate zone. It's like from right up touching 0 meters to half a meter around your body. And this is where you allow people you are close to, but not like brothers and sisters, more like your boyfriend or your girlfriend, your significant other, and your children. Because you know children climb on top of you. And if you are close to them, you will feel comfortable with them there. But anybody else in your intimate zone is a no-no. You don't want that, right? Then we have the personal zone. This is where we allow people who are close to us, but not our significant others and not um, our children. So you are quite comfortable sitting next to your brother or your sister with a distance of about 50 centimeters or half a meter up to a meter between you. You know, that's a good distance. That's where if you have to sit next to your friend outside or on campus, that's a good distance between you and you're comfortable with this person. Um, so I like telling stories, and I have a friend um who we used to have lunch in the staff room, and then all of a sudden she would sit a decent distance, and then all of a sudden, if she wants to make you angry, she would move right up and put her face right in your face. And uh, you know, you would wonder what's wrong with this person, but it was her way of, I don't know, maybe showing she cared or maybe just irritating you, but it works. It really works. Then you get your social zone. It's between 1 and 2 meters around your body. And this is where you keep people who you don't really know. You are acquainted with them. Well, you know them, but you are not friends with them. In your classroom, you can measure. It's supposed to be that the front of the one desk to the front of the desk behind it should be a meter. and also the person sitting next to you. It should also be a meter, because here we want to allow social interaction. We want to allow people to speak to each other, but not be so close that they make people feel uncomfortable. And then lastly, we get the public zone. This is larger than 2 meters. This is I'm a weird person. I don't like people like in my space. So this is ideal for me. This is what we should be doing now in the COVID-19 crisis. The public zone is larger than 2 meters, and this is for people who don't know each other at all. That's the distance we should keep. For like in your lectures, the lecturer stands in front and a little bit away from the class. It also serves to let the sound travel right up to the back of the class. So because bodies absorb sound and things, so if the lecturer had to stand in the middle, the sound wouldn't go so far and people at the back wouldn't be able to hear. So I've got a nice picture here that shows kind of just sort of illustrates these zones in proxemics. We will continue visual semiology in the next lesson, because this is now getting too long. You need to go have a cup of coffee or a glass of water, and we'll carry on in the next lesson. Until then, if you have any questions, please email me at jeffkeister@gmail.com, or go to leave a comment below, or go to my Google Classroom. You click on, or you go in your browser, you type in classroom.google.com. You click on your right hand side in the upper corner, there will be like a plus sign. You click on that, it asks you, you click on join class, and then it will ask you for a code. You will put in the code FHPXIE2. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time. Bye.